Happy Monday, ladies. Do you like this sun halo that I have going on?
Your hair is fabulous, and I look like a hot mess. Like this.
Girl,
Um,
you should have seen me. Well, while we were texting, I was showering. Well, not showering while we were texting, but I had not washed my hair in more days than I probably want to put on a recording that's going to go on YouTube. It was disgusting. Like I took my hair out of the ponytail and my bun stayed on top of my head. And I was like, Katie, you're disgusting. You need to shower. Yeah. I was thinking it's funny because Brandy, Alexa was just on here, Sandra. I was supposed to talk to all of you today, and thank you for being so flexible and letting me move that. I was in bed all afternoon, and literally an hour ago, I was like, get up and take a shower. Like, let's go, girl. Um, and the meds are, thank goodness, kicking in. Yeah. Is anyone else like super stubborn when it comes to you're not feeling well? But instead of just admitting that you don't feel well and going to the doctor, you're like, no, no, it's fine. I'll make it work. I'll figure it out. I'll get better. Yeah. No, anybody else? Yeah, Brandy, she's like me. Yeah,
I have
same.
learned not to do that anymore.
Well, Sharon should have called you.
But it takes a long time to learn that.
Yeah. I mean, both my mom and Shane last week were like, it's probably time for you to go to the doctor. And I'm like, nah, it's not. And on Friday, I was like, if I still feel bad Monday. And of course, this weekend, all I did was like hang out in bed. Anyways, so that's why my hair is done because I decided to shower.
And
Happy
I'm having
Monday.
surgery on Wednesday.
Say that again, Evangelina.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Not
I'm
in.
Amy.
It's Sharon. I'm having surgery on Wednesday.
Oh, well, hopefully that will go super well. Um, happy Monday. Happy Monday. Marie, I saw that you called me 4 times. I'll call you back. You just jumped on. I
It's
just got
okay.
through saying I haven't done anything this weekend
I
because I
was
was
looking
sick
for
and done.
Carrie Ann and I found her.
Oh,
We
good.
skirted and skirted until we found each other.
Okay, good. Good, good. Um, y'all, today is Monday
Hi,
the
Sandra.
20th, which is
Good to talk to
crazy.
you today.
I want to know, drop in the chat what energy you are bringing to our call. 1 is, I'm not feeling it, not at all. 10 is, oh my gosh, I'm on cloud 9. I'm feeling great. My energy's at a 4. Kaylin 7, LaDonna 9. I love that. LaDonna, I saw your message. I know that I also owe you a follow-up. You're on my to-do list. Crystal, you're at a 5. Lady, I feel you. So let's see if we can raise some of that excitement up. 9.5, 9, 10, 9. Yes, some of you are rocking it, and I freaking love it. I love it. Catherine, did you see that I shared your 610 on my Instagram today?
No.
Yeah, I don't know if do you have a personal Instagram? I tried to find you, but I couldn't. Anyways.
Yeah, I'm Cat the Calorican. Cat the Calorican.
All right.
The K.
I love that. Actually, it might be cool if we did inside, if anybody has a minute and they want to do this, create a post inside Trailblazers that says drop your Instagram handles. And if everybody will go and drop, we can all start following each other. If anybody wants to do that.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, lady, I'm freaking obsessed with your place. Every time you have pictures and video, I am excited.
Oh, Oh, that's so great. Okay, so you want us to post it in the Facebook group for Trailblazers?
Yeah, if somebody will just start a thread that say, hey, drop your Instagram handles here. And then, oh, Carrie Ann just said she's doing it. Thanks, lady. And then we can, do that. Okay, so I have a couple of announcements and then we are going to get to who you might need to know, what you're working on. Let's figure out who we can connect you with. So if you already know that you want to share what you're doing to find help, go ahead and you can already start to raise your hand. Remember, the way that we do this is we say, hi, my name is Sally. I am doing a flip and I need a general contractor in North Carolina. Who do you know, right? Okay. Before that, first of all, thank you so much for those of you who have already filled out the Trailblazers survey. The feedback has been so exciting. I just get so giddy every time SurveyMonkey sends me an email that says, you have another, somebody else has filled it out. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so fantastic. Lots of great information, lots of great, here's what you want to learn about, here's who you want to hear from. I will tell you, when it comes to the question about who do you want to speak inside the group, y'all, this is one reason why we are going to get speaking training, which I have an update for that in just a second. I cannot tell y'all how many of y'all have already said Vina, Cody Sanchez, Amy Majuri. I'm like, okay, great. But there's so many awesome other ladies. So just know that we are working on Amy. I had a phenomenal call with Amy last week. I told her that we've got to partner on some things. So we are working behind the scenes on what that could look like. I know many of you are in RPM, but many of you are not. And one of the things that we always talk about is right, you've got to have access to capital in real estate investing. You have to. So you either have to go out and you raise your own money, you've got to hire a connector or a capital raiser, right, or partner with them. We are working on our Trailblazers Capital Fund and putting that together. But like, you've got to know about capital raising. So she is going to be coming in. Again, we're going to be hopefully getting y'all a plan of what that's going to look like in the next couple of weeks. But also, like, I know you're hearing from other cool people besides Vina and Cody. Not to say that they're not awesome. Y'all, I heard them speak and give the same speeches 2 weeks in a row at 2 different conferences. So they're amazing, but there's also other people. Anyways, that was my soapbox. I'm gonna step off that for a minute. The reason why we put together the survey is we are going to build what you all want, what you all need, what you like, what you're not getting from other places. And so allowing you the opportunity to give us feedback is so important. And I know lots of other communities, they go out and they create what they think you need. And that's just not what we want to do. We want to create what you actually need. So if you haven't had a chance to do that, please do. If you're not getting our emails, you should have received an email today. It was about this actual call. And then we sent out the survey. If you're not getting our emails and you're sad about that, let me know because we can get them to you. If you're not sad about that, okay, that's cool. But sorry, now these steroids are kicking in my sinuses. I will say, like, some of you have unsubscribed and I'm like, really? Then stop coming to our calls on Mondays. Like, I'm not sending anything weird, but I digress. Sharon, if you're not getting emails and you would like to, will you email me from your email address, katie@katielangford.com. Carrie Ann, I did just get spicy. I'll chill out. So if you have not done the survey, if you could do that. Okay. I've been working on all of the content for the speaking training that we are going to do. And I would like to do this sooner rather than later. However, I'm going to be traveling. So mark your calendar for Monday, June 10th. This call right here will be probably a 90-minute call, at least 75 minutes. I am going to do a speaker training. We're going to talk about if you want more training, what that looks like. But that will be a great place for you to get started. I'm going to tell everyone, invite your friends, invite people to be in Trailblazers. So June 10th, mark your calendar. Also, for everyone who has been inviting people to be a part of the Trailblazers group, oh my God, thank you so much. That is amazing. Every time we expand the circle, we get to, know and build relationships with more women. This is absolutely incredible. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I have been talking to several of you who are going to be joining the Trailblazers volunteer team, who are going to work in the background on events, education, social media, new member, etc. So we are going to be rolling something out, but I would like to ask this, because this is not in the survey. If you have any ideas about a contest that we could run to invite people to Trailblazers, what could that look like? Like, I don't know, do you want an hour of time with someone? If you recommended 3 people, then you'd get in for every time. I don't know. Would you like a book? Would you like AirPods? Like, I don't know. So if anybody has any ideas on what that could look like, if you've seen anything cool, let me know. If you think that's a lame idea, cool, don't worry about it. All right. June 10th, mark your calendar. It's going to be phenomenal. I was going to say freaking awesome, and then I said phenomenal. Anyways, okay, so let's do this. Who, not how. One of the things, I have not read this book, but I've been reading a lot of the, everybody mute themselves. Somebody's like cooking dinner, which is amazing, and their dog, and I love that. I have not read the book. It is actually on my Kindle to read, but I've read the another book by Dr. Hardy, and it's genius. And so one of the things that I wanted to share with y'all before we go on, several people have been like, I don't really know what I should be asking for. I don't really know what that looks like. I know I need help, but I don't actually know what I need help with. Put a "that's me" in the chat if you feel like that's you. Yeah, a couple of people, one person. Okay. Maybe everyone knows exactly what they need. Let me just very quickly, though, spend 1 minute going through an exercise. So one of the things for my coaching days that I know is that you have to have clarity. If you don't have clarity, you don't know what your goal is. If you don't know what your goal is, you don't have directions in your GPS to actually go somewhere. So for those of you who are saying, I want to flip houses, I want to buy MTRs, I want to buy mobile home parks, right? Whatever it is, I want to launch my TC business, I want to grow my whatever. A lot of us are just walking around and we're like, yeah, I know that I want to flip houses, but I don't really know what it means when I need to figure out who I need help from. This is exactly what Shane Langford was dealing with last week. He was like, well, I know that I want to flip houses. I know I want to coach people to buy businesses, but I don't really know who I need help with. So here is what you do. You will grab a piece of paper. You draw a line down the center. You first start with, what do you actually want to do? If you don't know what needs to be done for flipping a house, but you know you want to flip a house, go to ChatGPT and ask, what are all of the steps to flipping a house? It will literally give it to you. And I'm not even like making fun of this because this is what we did last week. So we Googled, put in ChatGPT, what do we need to do to flip a house? Please mute yourself. And then what you write down is you go line by line. You go line by line and you say, do I want to do this? And if you do want to do it, you write it in the do column. If you don't want to do it, you write it in the don't column. So for example, I'm looking at Shane's right now flipping. He wants to flip 5 houses this year. He does want to do the budget. He does not want to do the actual labor, which for him, he used to own a subcontracting company, right? There's no judgment. He does want to do project timelines, but he doesn't actually want to talk to sellers. He does want to look for properties, but he doesn't want to do the design. He does want to negotiate the deal, but he doesn't want to handle the legal paperwork. So we went line by line. What does he want to do? What does he not want to do? When you say what you don't want to do, that's where you figure out who you need. So when people say, well, Kaylin, tell me what you're working on. Well, I'm working on not having a TC business. I'm actually working on buying a business with my husband. And what I don't want to do is raise capital. So what I'm looking for right now is someone who can help me raise capital, right? Everything in the don't column, that's who we have to find your who for. So like, for example, Shane said, I don't want to design. I don't want to stage and market the house. I don't want to buy materials. I don't want to talk to sellers. Well, we realized that a lot of the things that fall under his don't category.
Tested it. She was like, it'll help tame it a little bit.
So what we realized is a lot of the stuff in his don't category, our friend Nikki does want to do. So guess what? Shane and Nikki got on the phone and now they're partnering and they've already made 4 offers on places since Wednesday when we did this. Is that helpful? Right, drop a yes in the chat if you're like, oh, that is really helpful. Okay. Yeah. Brandy said it's so simple. I love it. Yeah. I mean, this is the exact same thing I did for Trailblazers. I was like, what do I actually want to do in Trailblazers and what do I not want to do? And once I figured out what I don't want to do, then I'm like, cool. And that's when I need to come to you all to ask for help for. So now I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to turn it over to all of you. I want to hear, what are you working on? And what is in your don't column that you're like, no, dude, I do not want to do this. Even if you haven't done this exercise, there are probably things inside your head that you're like if somebody said, Katie, you have to flip a house, I'd be like, cool, but you know what I'm not doing? The freaking analyzation. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm not doing it because I don't like number analysis, right? So there are things you naturally know I am not doing that. Marcy, take it away. Tell us what you're working on and let's think about who might be able to help you.
Gosh, so I was jotting this down really quick, Katie. I was taking quick notes, but I love it for the do's and don'ts. So for myself, it is spot on, to be honest. So my focus is pad split. So kind of this last week, I had the ability and much gratitude to talk to Nikki. So she was sharing me that exact thing, right? So I got to go hang out with her, but and Crystal too. So we had some great conversation. And for myself, I love pad split. I am laser focused on pad split. So the next step for us, my husband and I were like, okay, so what do we like to do in regards to pad split and what do we not want to do, which is the construction, ourselves included on that detail. So we actually found a partner over the last couple of weeks and he's got 8 active pad split properties here in Texas. So we're like, okay, so what do you need, dear sir? And so I told him, how can I help you? And he's like, well, I don't want to go capital raising. And I'm like, well, I have this group of women that I can lean on to learn this process. So that's where I am. And I love talking to people. So that's really where I'm sharing my need. is I am looking for those that are interested in putting a toe or a whole foot or body into a pad split for their first run. That's what I'm looking at this evening.
I love that, lady.
To coach along.
Who? So just come off mute if you know somebody, or put in the chat. Do you know somebody who's doing pad split? Do you know somebody you can make a recommendation to? I know somebody in Dallas Fort Worth who has properties that some of those could be pad splits. I don't know if that's helpful. I don't know if you would want to meet them. Great guy. He's a business. I mean, we own other properties with him.
Are you looking for money to fund the pad split?
Yeah, we're just looking for people that it could be either a PML, right? Because we've got different opportunities for each. So you got a PML, PMP, or just a JV. So we've actually got opportunities for all three based on what we had discussed with this gentleman. And he's like, I'm open to any of the above. So if you got somebody who wants to get in and out, you got the gator opportunity, right? To go quick, if that's what you're wanting to do. And then, he has graciously shared, you could JV, so you could still have, cash flow within the property if you want to do long-term. So really the opportunity is pretty open to that regard. So I'm kind of looking to that detail, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. We can connect for sure.
Awesome. Great to be connected, Leanne.
Are you looking for properties in a certain place? Or you just
Primarily the
concept?
Dallas, Texas Metroplex right now.
Okay. Do you already have some properties identified, or are you looking for someone to help you find them?
The properties identified is going pretty fast. Like we've been doing that for him, and we've looked at even just on the MLS finding them really pretty quickly because of the advantageous part of them having 6 to 8 rooms, the 1,500 square foot minimum. So we've kind of gotten a little faster on the underwriting. So that piece is coming along pretty smooth, and I enjoy that piece of it. So I'm really just looking for partners that I can look to capital raise with. That seems to be our place to
Capital raise.
scale it the way that he wants to do it and the way that we'd love to be able to jump into it.
So you know what to do as far as running it or how to set it up.
Yes, he's been doing it. He's over the last 12 months, he's got 8 actively rolling. And so he's got the construction rehab company. He's got all the different details, right? To make it turnkey. I told him, I said, well, have you ever thought about scaling it, right? Because I'm an integrator, I'm a systems person. So that's my heart. So I'm like, well, how can we help? So that's really kind of where this has come from.
So Katie, I was just thinking of Joe Ramos. That's what they do. They're in Florida and Georgia. So
yeah,
pad splits. But they've pretty much got their system down. So it was more if you needed someone to help you with the system. They're in Florida and Georgia.
Well, it's always good to connect to get feedback too.
So he's a great guy. So
what was his name?
Joe Ramos, Ramos. He's out of LA, and we can get you his phone number.
That would be awesome.
He'd love to talk to you.
Is it Marie?
Marie, yes.
Okay.
Marie, I'll connect with you too, because I have a pad split right now, and I actually want to break away from pad split in general to just do my own co-living. I've got a Port Charlotte one that I'm just going under construction on Monday, 4 pad split, 8 beds. So
where are you?
This one, the property's in Port Charlotte.
In Florida.
Yeah.
So Leanne, are you part of RPM?
Yeah.
No, Joe wasn't at the conference this time. Okay.
But yeah, it was Leanne.
Partner. Yeah, as a partner that lives in Jacksonville. Joe's in LA, but they have 4 set up near the Jacksonville area because apparently that's a big hub of tech coming in.
Yeah.
Or workers and things like that. So I think
Let's connect after, because I'm underwriting a deal in Jacksonville too. So
okay, great. Leanne, do you have your phone number?
Yeah. I messaged you on Instagram actually last week.
Oh, sorry. A little bit of crazy week.
No.
Guys, oh my God. Great. Thanks, Leanne. You were trying to do something with who was she trying to do something with?
Yeah, with Mia and Rashad.
Yeah, Mia and Rashad. Okay. You're on my list. I'll give you a call.
I work with so many people.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's good though. I was telling Katie to Carrie Ann today and someone else. My word for 2024 was collaborate.
Yeah, I love that.
Get there fast.
Megan, do you do any pod splits? Somebody just thought that you did.
Well, in Fort Dodge, Iowa, like in Iowa alone, there's no pad splits, and I've
But you're
talked to
doing
them.
co-living?
I was trying to, but Fort Dodge is still fighting me on that. They have stopped replying to my emails, the city of Fort Dodge, because I was trying to do room rentals,
Yeah.
and I told the neighbor because I thought they'd be cool with it, but the neighbor filed a complaint with the city before I even started renting out
Yeah.
rooms. So I've been researching all the different ways I could rent the house out. I have talked to One Vision and another LifeWorks and all that.
Have you talked to an attorney?
It's just
Like,
silly that
I'm serious. I mean, like, if there's an ordinance against things, then it makes sense.
Mhm.
If somebody's just irritated with it, that's not a law. That's not
Yeah.
illegal.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to get a hold of ombudsman, but we're playing phone tag, it seems like.
oh yeah.
Because they're supposed to be the ones helping, but of course we're playing phone tag, it seems like. So I think my next step is tomorrow I'm gonna go in person to the city, have my phone on audio record, and see what they say in person. And I
Yeah.
can catch them in what they say. And that way, if I have to, hey, I have, and I can maybe work with the attorney, but it's just ridiculous. This house, like to even do inspection, they said, we got to forward this email to our attorney, our city attorney first. So they said they're going to try to talk to their attorney
Yeah.
about their
So,
own.
okay, but no to pad split though. You're not doing pad split.
I would love to, but I'm just trying to see what I can do with this house.
Got it. Okay. Well, welcome. We're glad that you're here. Okay, Kirsten, tell us what you are working on and what you need or who you might need to know. You're on mute, lady. Lady, you're on mute. Kirsten, you're on mute.
Hi, sorry, thank you. Okay, so I do co-living and I have a nonprofit, and we talked about this last week kind of in the conversation about having a panel, and I don't know if this is the panel right now, or because it's kind of turned into this pad split co-living nonprofit city attorney thing. I just wanted to say that I have a fabulous nonprofit attorney, and I'd be happy to share that with you guys. Of course, I think you can try and find one on martindale.com as well, which is an attorney platform that you can search for any kind of attorney. But what we will be doing is the pad split model, which is the 8 rooms. That's what we're going to do, is 8. Right now we do 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, and we put 2 beds in a room. And so that's why it's different, because we're not actually having single room occupancy in some of the deals. But what I'm getting at here is that having the nonprofit has been really valuable, because the first thing that we did is we actually called the city, the police, in fact, and we said, this is the address, and we want you to know that it's a nonprofit shelter house. It's a single family. And if we want someone to go over there and take the tenants out, they will do that for us, because it's a shelter. And so I'm just putting that out there, that we haven't had any issues with code enforcement or anything at all, because I think them hearing nonprofit and you guys are helping, the city has just been super nice to us.
I'm curious, and I know we had a conversation the other day, Kirsten, about this. How do you get paid? I mean, how do you, I worked in nonprofits for 14 years. So what's the model in which you make money?
Yeah. So the LLC owns the house, and then the nonprofit that you found rents from the LLC. And the nonprofit collects the money through either grant funding or through contracts with like drug court or like city court for aged out foster care, or veterans if it's VA related, like housing to hospital, or I'm sorry, hospital to housing, or you have private payers as well. But the difference is that The private payers generally are not able to qualify for the pad split qualifications. And so they're kind of like a step down in their credit or something. But generally, you know, the people are like homeless or they're kind of like staying somewhere like a battered women's shelter, right? Or like divorced men. That became a very hot topic where they would find us on Craigslist. And so there's a combination, but the difference is that generally you're trying to get grant funding to your nonprofit. Let's say the nonprofit takes in, let's say you charge like $800 a bed and you have 8 beds, right? So $6,400. We take in the $6,400 to your nonprofit for the single family, and then you pay your lease to your LLC for standard market rent. So maybe that lease is $2,000 or $3,000. I don't know what your market is. And then whatever your surplus is, you of course have to pay your nonprofit insurance. So you're going to have special stuff like everyone should have in their pad split, like potential for sexual molestation, or even just, hey, that person cat called me or like pinched my butt where I'm super uncomfortable. And heaven forbid that actually ever happened. But in co-living, I don't know, some people, maybe that really might happen. Hopefully it doesn't. But like, that's why in a shelter, you would have that kind of coverage. But you keep the extra in your nonprofit, and then you pay yourself either as a contractor because you did some contracting work, like you kept the books, or you can pay yourself a W-2 because you're the CEO, and the average CEO of a nonprofit makes, last I checked, is $203,000 per year. Does that make sense? So you're basically, your LLC is getting, obviously accumulating properties, but your nonprofit is accumulating, hopefully, grants. That's the idea. Yeah.
Got it. Very cool.
Kristen, I'm gonna have to
Anything?
talk to you on the side about your ideas. I'm trying, you know, with the 6-bedroom house, I feel like that might work.
Yeah. Awesome. Anything else, Kirsten?
Nope.
Awesome. LaDonna, how's it going, lady? What's happening? What can we help you with today?
Well, I was going to just chime in on the co-living. I think I'm doing something
Do
far more simple that maybe other people can copy. And it started off with a conversation with Pad Split, but where I landed is I rent to a nonprofit, and it's people, their clients are people who have aged out of foster care. I rent the entire house to the nonprofit. They in turn sublease their rooms to their clients. They're responsible for tenant conflict. They're responsible for utilities. They're responsible for furnishing it. So on the last house, or actually on the next house, it's a 6-bedroom, 2-bath house. We rent it to them on a co-split type of structure. So I rent it to them at $165 a week per room. And then I actually rent them 5 rooms, and I have donated 1 room. So they're renting 5 rooms. I have actually donated to the charity the 6th room. So they pay monthly for the 5 rooms, whether they're occupied or not. They pay for the electric and the utility, the water. If they want internet, they pay for that. I'm just responsible as more of a long-term landlord for, you know, taxes, insurance, mortgage. So it's a co-split type of hybrid model. And it's helping, it's working with a nonprofit. Their clients are people who've aged out of foster care. So a lot of their clients struggle with getting a job because they don't have an address, or getting an address because they don't have a job. So their clients are paying the rent to them. And if the payment doesn't happen, that's between them and their client, not me. So it kind of just streamlines the process and makes it a lot easier. It's still, you know, a passion that I'm, you know, something I'm passionate about working with people who've aged out of foster care. So that's something that we would, like, I'm working with another girl who's taken the same model that I have created and putting into implementation in New Orleans. And she had her nonprofit talk to my nonprofit to kind of get them to understand the business model of it. So if other people, and again, I talked to Pad Split, I actually took my rates from what they said would rent in my area, and now I'm not paying their fee. I'm not paying the utilities. I'm not paying for furniture. I'm not paying for supplies or any of those things. So just something to consider, streamline it.
Yeah. Is that a local nonprofit to where you are? Do they have any national presence?
They don't. They're in 2 counties in Florida, and then they just expanded to Greenville, South Carolina. I'm not sure what county that is in. But again, what we want to do is kind of what I'm talking with my friend in New Orleans is creating a platform where we compare investors with nonprofits and just be the connector. And so there's, veterans aged out of foster care, disability, all those type of nonprofits that have a housing situation or a housing need. Like I said, this nonprofit isn't paying for their housing. They're just leasing the property. Their clients are still responsible for paying.
Yeah. And I would imagine that they probably pay on a sliding scale, or they might even, they all pay the same.
Yeah. So like on this house, it's coming up. Let me do the math. 165 times 4. So they're going to pay $3,300 for their 5 rooms. And then like I said, the 6th room I'm donating to the charity. So that'll be a charitable gift. Yeah. So they pay for those 5 rooms. And so I let them use the 6th room as this particular house is going to be all females. We have another house that's all males. This house will be all females. The 6th room will be, and it'll be people who will be in there like 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 months. They'll be in there as long as they can, unless there's an issue. The 6th room that is the donated room is for them to use at their discretion. And it's going to be more for people who maybe only need a place for 2 weeks. So I furnished that room. I set that room up as a co-living room, a bed, a nightstand, a lamp, the whole bed. That's the only room right now in that house that's furnished. The rest of them, it's on the nonprofit.
That's so cool.
Ask a
But
question.
if anybody has questions, give me a call. I'll walk you through the model. I mean, I pretty much explained the whole thing. It's very simple. I really uncomplicated it. But just reach out to your local nonprofits. We created an email template to how to reach out to nonprofits to see who in your area might need help.
Do you have any idea of market trends on this? Is there?
No,
I know there's a
I
growing need for single rooms across the country. Is there certain areas of the country that it's better in, or not necessarily?
I would say probably what you do need to look out for is I think there's probably a need in every municipality. There's a housing crisis. There's an affordable housing crisis. Where my particular properties are, the zoning is density friendly. So I'm not going to have neighbors whining and crying about 5 people, 6 people coming and going in a house. The people that are going into this house, probably the majority of them or half of them won't even have cars. So parking's not an issue. We are on a bus line, and that's what's more important. So I would say consider the municipality and the density allowance, and just kind of like you would a short-term rental, is just make sure like this isn't going to work in an HOA. There's going to be this isn't going to work in a very rural area where
a gated community or
anything like that. Job, like they need to be able to get to jobs quickly and affordably. They're not going to be owning a car and commuting 30 minutes. They're going to be taking the bus. And in Florida, here they can take their bike.
What town are you in?
St. Petersburg.
Thank you. Wow.
Yeah. If anybody has questions, holla.
I love this. I love how this has turned into this conversation. I spoke to several of you last week, more than several, probably 10 of you last week. And I cannot remember who exactly it was, because I had the same conversation with multiple women, that we as female investors, we really do look at our impact very differently. Well, Cassandra and I talked about it, actually, now that I'm seeing her, that we, yes, make money, obviously. I think that's what we're all here for, to have legacies and all of those things. But oftentimes it's also like, well, what can I do that's also beneficial for someone else's life. And I think that's super cool. Okay, who else? What are you working on? What do you need help with? What is happening?
Love it.
Yeah, Catherine, what's going on, lady?
Hello. How are you? So I finished the safety semester within sub 2. So I spent the weekend just getting through all of those different recordings and all of the quizzes and then the final. And I just got my certificate like 10 minutes before the call. So I've got that checked off the list. I've gone back and started listening to some of the recordings again, because there were so many like cool ideas, not just the due diligence and everything. But I mean, I guess the main thing I'm looking for and hoping to find is more people like Carrie Ann. I need Carrie Ann's cloned. That's what I need. I need people who are in the space of connecting people that need funding. And specifically, I'm looking very short term. I've got a lot of my money tied up in deals that were supposed to take 9 months and are going on 3.5 years. So if someone tells me 2 weeks, I'm going to believe that it's really going to be 6. But that's my comfort zone. Like I'll do a 2 week that turns into 6, but I don't want to do a 6 month that turns into 2 years. I really don't want my money tied up that long, but I've got a couple $100,000 to deploy. I'm working on my credit and other things, but I've got capital available, and I really want to help someone fund their deal. And I really like to be in it with someone else who's done it, who's walked that path. I'm willing to take a shorter piece of it and leave more meat on the bone for someone else if I can get my foot in the door in doing these sort of quick turn type gator deals. So,
and are you looking for something under 90 days?
Yeah, ideally under 90 days.
Yeah. So just as a reminder, not everyone in our group is part of any Pace Morby mentorship. So for those of you who aren't familiar, Pace created a term called Gator, and it's all about taking smaller chunks out of smaller deals.
Right. So these are things like your earnest money deposit, double closing, gap funding, things like that, where you need to show something on your financials to get something through, or you couldn't do a traditional assignment of a wholesale deal, and you actually have to do double closing, which I understand is becoming more and more common in many states, that you have to do a double closing. So someone has to bring the whole, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 to the closing table so that it can close, and then 15 minutes, someone else can buy the exact same property. So something like that, where it's going to be quick. I really want to get my foot in the door on doing those. I've heard about them. They're kind of like unicorns. It's like, I keep hearing about people doing these deals. I want to do deals like that.
Really quick, I just want to, so with the Gator deals, and I talked to a bit to Catherine about this, with the EMD, like it does sound so great. It's 85% of them do not close.
Right.
So
and that's true of real estate, right? 85.
Yeah,
You're
but
gonna make a lot of offers, not all gonna make sense once.
Right. But usually when we're raising capital for, deals that are fix and flips or buy and holds, or however we're structuring that, at that point with a lot of, second lien positions, and it's already more in the works. And then the hard part also within like a double close, I've lent on one of those and they give you, it's 0.75%, and they have it for a week, sometimes 2. They'll say like, oh, it's instant, and it is instant for the title company when they decide to get their stuff together.
Right. That's why I say, you want it for 24 hours. I know that's really going to be, 14 days.
Yeah.
Right?
minimum. But there are things, it is just harder to find those because, and I think that's why the Gator community got so big.
Yeah.
But those kinds of things, they are like a unicorn, because if you find one and it actually works, but they're also just a lot higher risk of it falling through or or the paperwork being a little, so just something like I said, it sounds great. The model sounds great. The marketing's amazing. But that's just not
The
always.
marketing is great. The marketing is great.
Mwah, chef's kiss marketing. I will say that
But you
because
know what? That is true about everything in real estate and every get rich, like, oh, just call seller, door knock foreclosures, do mobile homes, do rentals, acquire them, live passively, mailbox money. Like every one of them sounds passive and great and amazing. And every one of them has their caveats and their gotchas and their horror stories. So yeah, I feel like this kind of aligns more with like who I am as a person. Plus, I live in Puerto Rico, right? Which means I am incentivized tax-wise to earn interest. I don't have to pay tax on interest.
Right.
Having rental property and depreciation doesn't help me here, but having interest income is tax-free. So I want to align myself with that.
That's fascinating. That's interesting to know for sure. I am a member of Gator. I went through all of it. I've done one deal. I made my money. I was very happy. What I have found, and this is not exclusive of Gator, what I have found about a lot of people talking about raising private money outside of Amy is that there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, just sign this agreement, do this JV. For me, is fairly close to the line that I am not comfortable with. I do not look at an orange. Y'all might notice that blue and pink and even green, some of you suggested, is my color. So like, for example, I was talking to somebody today and they have 4 partners on a deal. And I'm like, do you not understand? Or 4 investors. I'm like, 4 investors on one deal is illegal. I mean, well, unless they have their own position, if you're pooling money together, right, there are certain things that the SEC is not going to be happy with. So I just say all of that to say, however you make money, do it. I mean, again, trailblazers, we are not accountants, we are not attorneys, we are not giving financial advice, all of the disclaimer. So just remember that. And listen, I know people who are making shit tons of money doing Gator deals, and it's amazing and awesome and wonderful. I know people who are making money doing connector deals. They're also dealing it illegally. So you just have to know where your line is. And, you know, like Catherine said, I mean, shit, there are people out there that are doing flips illegally, that are doing, like, people do illegal things. I try not to. I don't even like to speak, but that's because I'm a rule follower. Anywho, if you have a deal that's less than 90 days, that means money. Catherine wants to fund you because she has money. So go get that.
Exactly.
Maybe we'll have a lipstick flip for you.
So Catherine, I have a question. You have money that you can collect interest on and not have to pay taxes because of where you live.
Yes.
Why is it that you only want 90 days when an actual project, you know, a really well-seasoned real estate project probably takes 6 to 12 months?
That's a great question. And I think I'll get to that point. I think I want to turn it a few times, like get the 0.75 that Carrie Ann suggested for having it out for 2 weeks, right? Turn that a few times. That adds up quickly. And if I can grow it, then I'm more comfortable putting some of it in longer term. Then I can do more PML stuff. I just don't want to, you know, take a big chunk of it and put it in something getting 10 or 12%. And then look, the inflation is, you know, 7 or 8. So I'd really only be getting 4 or 5 net, right? So I'm just like, I'm not quite ready to stick a big chunk of money in something that's going to take that long. Now, I might have to adjust my goals if I can't find what I'm looking for, you know, and I'm not able to do it, you know, with shorter term deals. But
is anyone on the call a wholesaler? Drop wholesaler in the chat.
Well, and like Catherine said, like she's been in a deal that started out as 9 months and she's 2 years in.
I'm
So-
3.5 years in. I've got 6 of them. 6 of them.
So
They're-
this is why
Oh.
Catherine has these expectations. She's,
Yeah.
but, and I do think
Oh,
while the
that's
shorter term deals do look good, I would just say to everyone, don't wait for those kinds of deals. Because I do have gators that I've put into deals and they're like, I want 30% in 90 days. I'm like, yeah, who doesn't? I
Yeah.
want 30% in 90 days, bring it on. But that's kept them from doing a deal. In the meantime, I've made 15, 20% in 6 to 9 months because I got into deals that weren't the gator deal, but their money's just sat there while they waited.
And that's why, Catherine, we have 15% deals for you in 6 to 12 months. They exist.
Yeah, I'm getting 15% now on my 3.5 year, 9-month money. So I am getting 15%.
Okay.
But
When
if
you
I
get
don't
it.
see that money.
When you get it, but I'm
and
saying in
have
and out.
it-
I'm saying in and out in 6. Yeah,
So I'd have to be very confident because 15% is kind of like my bottom of, and I get that in Puerto Rico because Puerto Rico is higher risk. So 15% here is pretty common. But I really don't want to lend more in Puerto Rico right now either. So mainland 15%, that's fantastic return. And I would consider it. I think give me 3 months from now. And if I can't drum up something turning it, then Marie, I might be, begging at your doorstep in a couple months.
There's a few of us here that could find that for you, so it's okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to understand your model, right? Danya, myself, there's, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of us, we're at 4 or
I
5 of us here.
appreciate that. Thank you
Yes.
so much. That is so good to know.
Catherine, can I ask you a quick question? Because I feel like I've had this, and Marie, you and I haven't gotten the chance to connect one-on-one, but I know Carrie Ann and I have had this conversation, same thing. Are you collecting the interest payments as the loan is out? Or is it just a big balloon?
No, and that was a
Okay.
huge mistake. That was a huge mistake on my
Yeah,
part.
I mean, that could
You know,
happen.
when you
So,
do
I mean,
like-
that's another
look.
way to think about how you structure your deals,
It's-
right?
yeah, you
And
can
Oh,
renegotiate.
longer term
Funny
deals,
that.
because like my lender, I'm in a deal that's it's so hard to refinance, and they understand, and I communicate with them every step of the way, but they've been
Yeah.
getting paid from day one like clockwork. And
Yeah, that
talking
would
to
be
me the
a
other day,
very
he's like,
different.
I'm kind of sad that you're going to be refinancing this soon. I was like, don't worry, I'll find another project. So
Good.
just the way you structure your deals too could be really important, even for those longer term ones. So just
That is so key. I mean, look, as someone who did a lot of flipping myself, I never wanted to be in a deal with a lender where I was having to make monthly payments because it's just annoying. And, you're trying to get things done and it's a very short timeline. And so when I did these other deals with this other person and they were doing a lot of flipping and I was getting the money back sometimes within 3 weeks on some of the initial deals. And it was like, look, can you wait until we finish and close this out before you get paid? Like, yeah, that's fine. I can survive for 9 months without getting interest payments every month. But now, and I'm sorry, I'm bitter because I made a lot of mistakes and I learned a lot in the safety course, but I learned a lot just through doing the wrong things. If I was getting interest all along, I'd have a completely different opinion of, okay, it's taking longer. Who cares? All I want is to be able to live off this interest anyway. Like keep the principal out there at work as long as it's earning 15%, but just not having any of it coming in, it's made me very bitter.
Well, and that's the entire, like they were saying, that's the entire structure of the deal. So maybe you are totally down, Catherine, for a year deal, but you're getting your 15% every month. So it's not that you just need short term. You just need something structured in a way that makes you comfortable and gets you what you need.
Carrie Ann, you are such a good salesperson. Look at you. You're closing me right now in front of everyone on just pivoting a little bit.
You're welcome. Well, no, but that's how it, like, for me, for those who do not know, I have a disabled husband who hasn't worked in 3 years. I don't know if he'll ever be able to do this again. We sold a brand new home. We sold our businesses. We moved across the country with our 6 young kids. When I lent, I don't have room for mistakes. I have to make sure that everything is as secure and protected as possible. This is all I have, which is
Yes.
why when I go to my lenders and I say, I'm not bringing you anything I don't feel comfortable with, that's why that's important for me and important to my lenders, because this is not monopoly. This is not play money. And sometimes it gets to feel that way when you hear people in these real estate communities with so much, and they're tossing around millions here and millions there. It's stupid money.
Right.
I don't have stupid money yet, but it's just about making sure and making sure that you're working with people who understand where you're at. I think that's really it. It's just knowing where you're at, and you're saying, this is what I want, but what you really need, Catherine, you don't need 3 months. You need security in a deal that offers you monthly payments.
Yeah.
And it's communicating that in that negotiation and taking care of yourself first so that you're aligned with the person you're partnering with. That's
Right.
really important.
I just turned 60. You know, I know a lot of people on this call are younger. But like Carrie Ann said, like, I don't feel like right now I have room to lose it. Like, preservation of principle is important. So I want to make sure that I'm smart with it, like taking the safety course and doing the right due diligence and having the right forms in place and vetting the deal is all well and good. But I like the idea of going into it with someone who, like, you know, Carrie Ann is well respected within the group, and I already know that people know her, right? So if we're in a group like this, there's a certain amount of like, hey, Katie, how well do you know Carrie Ann? You know, like, you can vet people against each other a bit and know, are there whispers of this or that? You know, like, let's find out who's
Does
done.
she make OnlyFans feet videos? No.
That I
That's
know.
if her deals go bad.
That's next. Yeah, and that's kind
I
of
haven't had a deal go bad.
good. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I appreciate all of the thoughts on this.
Yeah, thank you for being vulnerable enough to have this conversation. And I know I was spicy a minute ago. I appreciate that you trusted us enough to say, hey, can we talk about this? And can I get feedback? And so thank you. And I will tell you right now, we would like to take $60,000 to $75,000 out of one of our rentals. It's a long-term rental, and we have a first position. We have zero debt against it. We want just some cash out for some projects that we're doing, and we will pay you monthly. So if that's something you want to understand, I can close on that as quick as next week. And we will write you a check every Monday on the 1st. We'll Zelle it to you. We'll send it via email, via mail, like however you want it, we will get it to you.
Nice. First position, man.
She prefers courier through me.
Yeah.
She needs me to take it to Puerto Rico.
Does she?
I mean, it's the way Catherine rolls.
Yeah. If you bring me money, you get to stay in my bed and breakfast. That's
fantastic. I'm bringing you all the money. $10 for Catherine, 3 nights stay.
So Catherine, I have to ask, where do you live in Puerto Rico?
I live in Isla Verde, which is in the metro area, right next to San Juan. I mean, literally the border to San Juan is like 3 blocks from me.
My daughter lives in Ocean Park.
I'm your courier.
I'm your courier.
Pardon me?
I could walk to Ocean Park. Someone just said, I'm your courier.
That was me.
Yes, come on down. Come on down. It is warm.
Well, I'm just closing on 3 Airbnbs with commercial property underneath in Puerto Rico. So if anyone wants to drop 80K, no problem.
Carrie Ann, what is going on?
80,000.
We're bringing it all to Puerto Rico, Marie.
I'm going down for a mastermind and then someone else I'm meeting there.
It's the vibes that happened this morning. We're just bleeding it into the group tonight.
In a wild week.
Awesome.
Well, Puerto Rico needs it and appreciates it because you know, it's had a lot of you know, problems and issues and economic upheaval over the years and hurricanes and such. So, you know, I do think it's a good thing when people can bring money to Puerto Rico and really help the economy. So Leanne, what are you, I think we've talked, but what are you doing there? Airbnbs, you said?
Yeah, we're just closing. It's a seller finance deal. So we're taking over and we're
Where?
doing it's 3 Airbnbs. Oh God, you're gonna say a place that I'm like, I don't know Puerto Rico that well, but I'll text it to you if you want.
Yeah.
But it's really cool.
Because there's about 6 properties, and I know you guys don't have a side conversation, but in Ocean Park. And I just didn't know if you have the seller financing, Liam, how you found it. But that's a whole nother God. It's such a huge
Well, we're
conversation.
gonna talk anyway, so
Yes. And I guess I should get your name, your number, Catherine, too, because yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, I put it in the chat.
Yeah. It's been
So I don't know how this would work, but several people, 2 people, so 2, people suggested on the survey, like, could we do a Trailblazers project? Like, could we all go in and buy something? Could we all go in and flip something? Again, like, I know we've also have been sharing about the fund and things like that, but anyways, I'm just saying, like, if a couple people wanted to put together, let's buy some Airbnbs down in Puerto Rico, like, that could be freaking cool.
It's becoming a very popular, they've put a lot of money into their tourism. So it's huge. It's a cultural destination without the passport.
Super cute.
And that's what I'd like to get as an Airbnb in Ocean Park.
I don't want to take over the whole call about Puerto Rico. I did do a Zoom with a couple people that were interested. I'll put it in the Facebook if anyone wants to watch it, where I go over the tax credits. One of the reasons people like to get into the hotel space and why Jerry Norton bought the hotel from me is because there's a 40% tax credit. You do not need to live in Puerto Rico to take advantage of that tax credit. That is if you buy a hotel or a guest house, not an Airbnb specifically, but you know, a small bed and breakfast, anything that has at least 3 rooms, you can get 40% of your investment back in the form of a tax credit, which you can sell for 90 cents on the dollar in Puerto Rico.
So you said not an Airbnb?
Holy shit.
Cannot be, when you think Airbnb, you're thinking, oh, I've got a house and I'm going to make an Airbnb or I'm renting my condo. It cannot be that. It has to be at least 3 units to qualify as a bed and breakfast.
Oh, like a small multifamily.
Small multifamily, yes. It depends on the zoning. There's a lot of like checks that you have to do. But basically, if you invest $1 million in something and then rehab it, and the first year of operations and the remodel is all subject to that 40% rebate, if you will, where the government gives you your money back. So it's almost like getting half off.
Sandra, you ready?
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable, the tax advantage of buying hotel properties in Puerto Rico. Leanne, I guess you're aware of that.
Yeah.
Yes. I had a hotel when actually we were in Squad Up, I had a hotel. We pulled out of that one. This Airbnb one's a different one.
Okay.
But
I mean, I just have to say this. I don't know about y'all, but 15, 18 months ago, I did not think I would be on a call with people that I know and have their phone numbers and like talk and text and see and have like met in person who own hotels. Like, does that ever blow anybody else's mind or is it just me? Because I'm like, holy shiitake mushrooms. Like, this is so cool. I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
Not just Airbnbs and hotel, but like
it like brings level up to a whole new perspective.
Yeah, like y'all, I'm from Dallas, Texas. The people who own real estate there are white dudes who wear polo shirts and they all belong to the same golf club. And I know this because we're friends with them. And now I'm like, no, dude, this is what badass real estate investors look like. This. And actually, I'm going to take a screenshot. Everybody smile. I always forget to take pictures. Anyways, I just think it's cool. I think it's cool that like you ladies, we collectively like own cool stuff. I think that's cool. Megan.
Hey, so speaking of hotels, I do know Ryan Renzi, you know that guy from Des Moines who's working with pace now. He's a gator, and he's doing hotel syndications with the guy that I'm doing seller financing on the trailer park with. So anyways, but yeah, I also know people if we need somebody who has experience in the area of maybe doing a syndication on hotel in Puerto Rico.
I love everything you said about that until you said guys. And I was like, cool, let's figure out who the chicks are. Now I know that y'all, like many of y'all are like, I have a lot of male partners and that's cool. But like, come on, Megan, like we got to find the chicks doing this.
Well, there might be his group of syndications though. I can ask him who are
there you go.
And then after I sell a couple houses here, you know, get rid of all my houses in Fort Dodge, I could probably actually pitch in.
It's funny that you say that. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine who said that she and her spouse, that they actually sold their single family rentals to get into syndications. And I was like, huh, interesting. I'd never thought of that. Anywho, okay, it is 7:06. Caitlin, I thought I saw your hand up. Angie, I thought I saw your hand up. If there's anything y'all want to talk about, jump on and let us know. Otherwise, we're going to celebrate successes, anybody's wins, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I can share. I was like, what was I going to talk about? I have firmly decided I do not want to be a TC, and I am not ashamed of that, even though my first step into real estate was joining top tier TC. So I'm like pretty close to not accepting individual clients, and I'm going to fire a team that I had joined because they're a hot mess. And so also in the background of my life, my husband just got laid off. And so we are in like a massive life pivot. And 12 months ago, I was not interested in real estate in the least. And so I am still sort of figuring like, do I like the idea of fix and flipping? Do I like the idea of like, I don't know what I like the idea of yet. So I guess and my husband keeps asking me like, what's your why? And I'm like, I don't know. Other than like having property so that my kids don't have to fight for property, because who knows how much it's going to cost when they're adults. I think I am looking for maybe someone to give me like, I don't know, like what does it really look like to fix and flip a house? Can we actually make active income enough to sustain our family so that he doesn't have to find a W-2? Like because he doesn't want to find a W-2, and I don't want him to have to find a W-2 if that's not what he wants to do. So, I mean, we're just in the middle of a massive life pivot, and I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I know it's not being a TC. I never would have thought I would even want to entertain the idea of flipping a house, but maybe why not? So I don't know exactly what I'm asking for other than just putting it out into this group that my family and I are maybe willing to relocate, maybe willing to like do grunt work. I don't know. I don't know what we're looking for, but I figured I would put it out there and just see what happens.
Lady, I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. Two quick things. If you are a flipper and you can have a conversation with Caitlin offline, will you drop it in the chat? I know I saw several friends shaking their heads. And also, maybe we should have a flipper on here talking about like, can you actually make money at that? That might be a cool, interesting thing. There's several people. Number 3, if you got into real estate investing through one avenue and you were like, this is what I'm going to do, and you have pivoted to something else, will you just drop I've pivoted in the chat? Yeah, Casey just went like this. Like, Caitlin, when you said, I thought I was going to be a TC,
girl, I've had like 15 ideas of things I was gonna do, and now I'm like really just now figuring it out. So I just want you to see all of these women who have also pivoted. I've pivoted, I've pivoted, I've pivoted, I've pivoted. And if you, Megan, I pivot almost daily for real. Megan was like, I have a 6-bedroom house. I'm going to use a pod split. Just kidding. My city hates me. Now she's thinking about selling it and moving, right? So, like, what you're going through as well as for you is like, this is totally normal. Like, we see something in real estate and we're like, oh, that makes sense. And then we get in and we try it and we're like, dude, I hate that. Or, dude, that's not what aligns with, my strengths or my talents or what have you. So, lady, I'm just so excited for you. And I know it's a super scary time. As someone who has lived through these major life changes multiple times, both for myself and with Shane, like, they're scary AF, but oh man, what's coming on the other side is exciting. It really is, I promise.
Yeah, and I think one of our biggest hangups is that we live in like a deep blue, it's almost black state, and like we feel like nothing here cash flows. And I'm like, is that true? Maybe it's not. Maybe this is my sign to get out of Oregon because it's a horrible place. It's beautiful, but it's not investor friendly. So I'm like, do we just need to get out of here? Like,
all
what
the
do we need
people
to
in
do?
sub 2 and Gator and all of that, like everyone who's in the communities in California and Oregon, it's like, how are they making their money? Why are they so happy and
Well,
loving
nothing
being in
cash
this?
flow. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't like
So
absolutes, but it's like the only things that we can figure out the cash flow here are fix and flips, but you can only do 3 of those if you're not a licensed contractor per year or MTRs. But nothing here MTR also cash flows as a long term. So it's like,
you are
what are we
assuming
gonna do?
cash flow is your only way to make them money. So that
Yeah.
may not be your path to, today money and tomorrow money. So cash flow is very small compared to the bigger ways, bigger chunks, bigger, ways of paying yourself, paying other people, whatever. There's so many more options to get real creative with it.
Casey, what do you do? Tell us. I don't feel like I know you, so welcome.
Oh, hello. So with that, one of the things that like I'm coaching, so I just sent you my information. So if you just want to have like not paid, just like talk to you, but like I do coaching. And so if you just want that why, I have other ways
What
of
kind of
asking it
coaching
versus
do you do?
So I do executive coaching. I was before this,
In real estate
before real
specifically?
estate. Right now, because of Squad Up, I basically was like, basically what seems like a lot of people are needing is how to scale internally with their teams, strategic plans, how they hire, train, recruit, that kind of stuff. So culture, vision, and people development. But a lot of it for a lot of solopreneurs, it's a lot of mindset stuff, right? And just not that knowing how to lead in some ways, but also just their own stuff. It actually comes down
Got
to
it.
a lot of it. But what was I? Where was I starting this
I think that
conversation?
answers it.
I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
so
answers
that's
it.
what like right now that's part of like the consulting side that I decided to do for some of the today kind of funding. And then my focus is on a luxury co-living, and that's what I've been doing the last few years. And so I'm gonna make that a business model to do short term as in the next Q3, Q4, and get my credibility packet built up so I can do more capital raising and have it more as a business model that is easily repeatable. And
Very good.
then after that, I'm getting into multifamily, but that takes a whole lot longer. So the deals we're looking for today, I don't expect to have anything happen for a long time. So that's why I
Yeah.
need something in between.
Gotcha.
And it actually ties very much into LaDonna's, because part of what I want to do was with aged out foster youth, but I was thinking multifamily. So we've been learning a lot of Section 8. We've been learning, starting to do a lot of side projects down that way with the multifamily. But I definitely want to connect because I'm in Orlando. My dad's in St. Pete. So definitely would like to connect and learn how you're doing it with the single families, with people sharing a house versus, I was just thinking individual room, apartment kind of thing.
Awesome. Okay, y'all connect offline. All right. It is 7:16 my time, 8:16, 5:16, 4:16, something like that, y'all's time. I want to do Megan and Evangelina. I don't know if y'all are wanting to do celebrations. You're gonna share your wins, or you had something else to say. Yeah.
Well,
Megan, you went away. Yeah, what were you gonna say, lady?
Caitlin Beals gave me an idea about flippers. I was like, and we were all talking about maybe as a group, the women's group, buying houses and investing in them. How about we have, like, if we do that idea, send some people who are willing to go on that house and work on it. I mean, I'm willing to travel. I've wanted to travel and work on houses. Yeah, I probably have to get certified in every other state, but so far in Iowa, I'm certified. I'm licensed and insured here, but I can look into getting licensed and insured in other states, or maybe other people can in that state or whatever. I'm just saying that's an idea.
A cool
maybe.
idea.
That's a cool idea.
Let's marinate on that. In Texas, you don't need a license. You pay $35 to the state and you're a general contractor. It's real shady down here. I love all this creativity and the potential of what could happen. And we're about to get some really smart women thinking about these things, because and so if you want to help thinking about these things, let me know. Evangelina, what you got, lady?
Evangelina, are you on? You're on mute? Nope. Going once, twice?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was talking
Okay,
to
lady.
myself and I was answering myself too. So,
well, you know what? Sometimes we all need a meeting with ourselves.
mind. I wanted to say two things. One is I want to thank everyone for sharing their stories, good and bad, because without you going through those steps, it helps somebody like me say, well, I wasn't interested in getting a hammer because that could be disastrous, but I can do other things in the project, which I know that I have bigger strengths in those. The other thing I wanted to share is that I had a friend who passed away last year. And one of the things she did to take care of herself as a single lady is she always put in the contract, every contract she had with any type of a tenant or a contract services, it was always a deadline for the project to be completed. It's not, assume 3 months. No. If it's going to give you 3 months, she gives them 3 months. However, when they pass that deadline, there's a fee and a penalty she will receive from the contractors. Because what happens is they look at a woman and think, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing. So let's say because I'm with her, the pool guy was not even showing up, but the pool had a hole and nothing was completed. So she called him over and told him, did you not read the contract? The contract states you were going to finish this job by a certain date, and now it's not complete. However, you owe me money based on that contract that you didn't finish. And all of a sudden, the whole project was done in a week, completed. So she always told me you have to take care of yourself first. People
Yeah.
don't take you seriously when you don't have a contract, be specific in that contract. If it costs you money to get an attorney to look it over, to take care of you, then you do that for yourself. But that's what I wanted to. Also, I wanted to tell you, I'm working on scholarship of grants, and I had missed the one for April for California. They do it every year for the past 2 years, 3 years. 150,000 for anyone who is purchasing a home, first time buyer. Now, in their definition of first time buyer, meaning you haven't had a home in 3 years, you don't have your name on any other property, and it'll be your main home, and you have to be a resident of California. What I want to do is get ready for next year, for next April, and I want to submit it. Now, most of the grants are first come, first serve. So I want to have the information kind of plugged in my computer. So all I have to do is wait for 12:01 midnight and then submit it to someone who lives in California, who is a resident and meets all the criteria. But where I come in as my strong point is paperwork. I love deadlines. I like filling out stuff and making sure things are done correctly, because if you don't fulfill their requirements, you will be banned from applying and receiving any future grants from anyone. So we don't want anybody on that name, and that would be my future business along with anything else that I might want to venture at. So
Evangelina, oh my gosh, I love this so much. Excuse me, Sharon just put in the chat that she's in California.
Oh,
so
great.
connect with her.
I will.
Tell you just said, I love managing deadlines. I was like, oh, this lady's the opposite of me.
Yes,
this is
I'm
what
a
I
paper
love
person.
also about life, is that there are people like you who help those of us with big ideas keep going. So
yes, I'm a
congrats,
paper
lady.
person, and I love, if somebody would give me a box of junk, I'm like, oh, that's a Christmas present to me. I throw everything over and I organize it. Okay, this is what you got. This is what you're looking at. You owe money here, go pay there. Don't do that anymore. To quit, get that vendor out. Yeah, I'm one of those people that say, hey, no mercy, get out. You know, you have to take care of yourself. You have to make tough decisions, and you have to follow through it. And sometimes it's firing people or removing people or adding people, whatever it's going to take to finish the project. That's what I am. I focus in, I want to make sure that if it's not working, we have to cut that off immediately. That's just me.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
do it. You have to say no.
Thank you for reminding us to get contracts signed as well, and to make sure that we are having timelines and things like that. Keep us posted on how things going and connect.
I will. I will.
Awesome. All right. So let's take 2 minutes. And what do you have to celebrate? What is a win that you've had? Where is a place that you've stepped out, maybe in nervousness, maybe in excitedness, maybe you have just, put yourself out there. What has happened? Irma, tell us what happened, lady. How can we celebrate with you? Oh, looks like she's going to another room.
Yes, I am.
I love it. We're ready.
I was cooking in the kitchen, so I'm going where I can hear better. What I want to celebrate is that my Novation deal is finally over.
Yes, you sold it?
We didn't make as much money. Yes, finally. But we didn't make as much money because it took so long, and we had to pay their mortgage and fix a lot of things. But I'm just glad it's over.
Yeah, lady, you have that experience now. Did you make any money?
Yes. Yes, I did.
There you go. That's a win. Congrats, lady.
Thank you.
Shane just got home and got some groceries. So if you heard that big bang, something just fell. Angie, what can we celebrate with you, lady?
Well, I guess I'm kind of, this is my first time being here. So
Welcome, welcome. We're excited that you're here.
I am a little bit different in the group. I am not any kind of investor, but I am a housing authority director. And so I guess my win would be that I have right now about 1,000 vouchers. And so I have 250 vouchers, which means I have 250 tenants right now in Northwest Iowa that are looking for houses. And most places in the United States for housing authorities, their waiting lists are either closed or have 2-year waiting lists, or very long waiting lists. Our waiting list is going extremely fast. I am pulling roughly 100 names every month, but my problem is my tenants can't find housing. Landlords don't want to work with them. There's stigma behind Section 8 tenants. For whatever reason, there just is stigma. And so my problem is for tenants finding housing. And so that's partially why I joined the group. I heard that there was a possibility that there would be people who may be interested in helping some of the people in our area.
Well, welcome, Angie. So if you will tell us what counties and what cities, I guarantee you that some ladies in this group would love to figure out how to help you. Absolutely.
I have 14 counties. I have a huge area.
Okay.
So
send a look. Can you
all
send
of Northwest Iowa? All of it.
Okay. Could you
if you can send a list, because we buy properties all over the country and we hone in on, we'll take any like seller finance, we'll negotiate creative deals and like take properties and we'll literally put them into where's needed. But we'll hone in on area codes that you need and we will make it happen for those properties. So if you can send me a list, I can start looking into those areas and seeing what's about.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to add, if you need anybody, if you find houses in those areas, if you need a contractor on the ground, boots on the ground, I'm here in Northwest Iowa also.
Yeah, we got to get some Iowa stuff going on. Megan, Marcy said something. Leanne's going to collect that information. Angie, I'm sure there's some people that would be willing to help in whatever way possible. So awesome. Okay, what else do you have to celebrate? What has gone right? No one? Okay, well, I'm going to celebrate the fact that I decided this morning to stop being so stubborn and to call the doctor. And right now I'm feeling a lot better than I was 4 hours ago. So yay for making progress on setting my ego aside. That is a work in progress for me every single day.
Good.
Anyone else?
I'm on 22 days of 75 hard.
Yeah, lady, how's it going?
Good. Love it.
Nice. What books are you reading? Anything exciting that you need to tell us about?
One was about gut health, and then another one, which I got really boring because it was like telling you like stuff to do. And I was like, well, I know yoga poses. So I stopped that. And then I'm now moved on to Wired for Wealth.
Wired for Wealth. Okay.
Ooh.
Get it. Keep us posted on that.
I'll keep you posted. It's someone who I met in a conference last year and I got a book and I've not read it. And now I'm doing 75 hard and have to read 10 pages every day. So I'm like just blitzing through these books that have been collecting dust on the side. So yeah, I was like, why not?
And how is you're not drinking then either,
Not
huh?
drinking. It's not phased me once.
I know. The brain fog is probably
It's the
gone.
chocolate that's the problem.
The sugar is chill.
It's not necessarily sugars like day in, day out, but it's like it's the ice cream. The ice cream on a weekend treat. Killing me, man. It's killing me.
When I stopped drinking last year, I started eating ice cream every day.
Yeah, I can't do that.
No, people are like,
You
you're
can do dark
saving so
chocolate.
much money and calories. I'm like, no, bitch, I'm eating ice cream every day. Not saving
Can't
calories.
do that. You can't do it. Yeah.
Dark chocolate.
Yeah, I went for
Coffee
brunch on Saturday and I wanted a mimosa so bad and I didn't do it.
So I will say this for anybody who doesn't, who's like not drinking for whatever reason. When I go to brunch, even when I go to dinner, I will get sparkling water. And if like all my girlfriends are having a mimosa, I will ask for it. I'll say, I would like sparkling water and a champagne glass, or I'll ask it for it in a wine glass, because I'm telling you, there's something about the glass. Like if everyone's having cocktails, then I'll say, I want a rocks glass. Something about it totally changes it. And then I'm like, yeah, I don't really care what's in it, but I can still do the cheers and all that.
LaDonna got me one. She got me sparkling water
Yes!
with the Bellini puree at the bottom. It didn't look so good, but it was good.
There you go.
I love it. But it was good.
Awesome. Okay, ladies, anyone else? All right. Well, mark your calendars, June 10th. Complete the survey if you haven't had a chance. If you have had a chance, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. What else? If I haven't talked to you yet and you've raised your hand saying you want to get more involved, know that I am emailing you. I'm getting you on my calendar. We're gonna chat. I've already had some great conversations. We have some amazing women leaders who have stepped up and said, yes, I'm gonna, do some cool stuff. So all of that is coming together. More announcements on that in the upcoming weeks. And thank you all for everything that you're doing. Thank you for making a difference. Thank you for showing up here to have a conversation, not just about what's the day-to-day that you're doing, but giving yourself time to work on your biggest and boldest dreams, giving yourself time to get in the room with people who are doing big, cool stuff. And thank you for all of you who are saying, I want to make money and make impact through real estate. I truly, 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 to the depths of my toes, believe that we have got to have more women in real estate investing, because we do it differently. We care about different stuff. We spend our money differently. And there's a reason why, frankly, we're kind of in some of the messes that we are. And I think it's because we don't have enough women at the top. And if we're going to change real estate investing, we've got to get more women at the top. We've got to move off 31.6%. So with that said, remember that you are a badass. Remember that no matter what comes your way this week, if you need support, if you need a guiding hand, if you need a reminder to, get down from the ledge, we are here for you. Drop it in the Facebook chat, connect with somebody that you've connected with inside the group. Go have an amazing week. Go put yourself out there, stretch your goals. In fact, I'm about to drop a podcast this week, and one of the women that I'm talking with, she went from 0 doors to 741 doors in less than a year in multifamily. And one of the things that she said is, if we have got to stretch our goals, we've got to set bigger goals, because most of us don't actually set goals. We just set things on our to-do list. So if you have goals that you are working towards right now and they do not scare you, like literally when you think about them, if your stomach isn't like, ooh, or you're not fired up to go do something, you're not a little nervous to tell someone, then it's time to stretch. Because ladies, we don't have time for to-do lists. We have time to do big, bold things and to make an impact. Go make that impact this week. We will see you next Monday. We are taking off on Memorial Day. So whatever day that is, we're not going to have a call. Go have a kick-ass week and we will talk to you very soon. Bye, ladies.
Bye.